All right, the man, the myth, the legend, Sheriff AJ Tony Smith, episode 1 of Shop Talk here at Bayside Coffee. Man, I really appreciate you taking some time to come by. I know you got a crazy schedule, so it means a lot that you took some
My
time to
pleasure, brother.
come out and hang out with us and get to know you a little bit better. We met like 5 years ago. I still remember we were out here working on the building, trying to turn a dream into a reality. You popped in and lent us some stuff, and I'm been friends ever since. You come in the shop all the time and have coffee, and I know almost all of your staff. So, what I really want to do with this channel, especially this shop talk segment, is talk to people in the community. I have so many cool people from the sheriff and his staff to country musicians to you name it coming through, and I'm like, man, it'd be cool to get these folks on camera so some of our audience can get to know them. So,
great idea.
We'll keep it fun, keep it short, keep it brief. First of all, what was it like growing up here?
Well, everybody thinks Apalachicola, Franklin County, Carabelle's never changed, or in a lot of ways it hasn't. But I think you and your children are experiencing kind of what I did because we fished, we hunted. There was no phones, cell phones, no computers, things like that. And it was really just a great time to. We grew up in 2 Mile on the water. We swim in the creek, knowing everybody in your neighborhood because it was a lot different as far as some of the businesses. There were businesses there, seafood houses. Of course, that's changed, but still, the water's still here. A lot of things are still the same. It's a great place for kids to grow up and learn about, natural resources, fishing, hunting. Don't kill more than you can eat or catch more than you can eat. Clean up after yourself. It's a good place to be.
So, what are some? I feel like it has changed a lot more in the last 5 to 10 years, and maybe you can speak more on that. But what are some changes that you've seen, both positive and negative?
Well, I mean, we're a tourist destination now. I mean, we
Yeah.
were a seafood town when I grew up, and now we're a tourist destination. We don't have all the shrimpers and crabbers and mullet fishermen. They've outlawed mullet nets and stuff like that, and the bay's closed. So it's a total paradigm shift, and it's really kind of sad because that is what this place is about.
Mm-hmm.
And now, we're a tourist destination, which is great because that feeds families and puts a roof over folks' head. But still, it'd be nice if we had some of that back.
Yeah, a little more balance, maybe.
So hopefully the bay will open. Fishing seems to be good. A lot of charter fishermen doing stuff like that. So
Fishing's good.
Yeah, it is good.
I do feel like we're pretty fortunate in that we draw a certain type of family for the most part. And I see it all the time in here, man. There is family oriented folks. They're having a great time, and obviously you get your folks who are used to the 30A or the Panama City Beach, and we're just not that. And I think that draws a certain kind of person, which I think we're really fortunate to have.
Yeah, we're a family oriented county. I mean, people with families come here. We don't have big spring break crowds and stuff like that, which is great because a lot of problems come with underage drinking and driving and stuff like that. So we have a little bit, but not much. I think it's pretty good from that perspective. We do have a lot of people coming here, especially in the summertime. The holiday we just came through, 5,000 cars went to the island every day. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
In addition to who's already there, that a lot of them are day trippers coming from Georgia, the surrounding counties. I mean, they're coming here to enjoy our beaches, and it's really really good that we have that resource to help sustain the folks that live here.
For sure. So moving a little forward, what motivated you to get into law enforcement originally?
I had a friend who was with the city police, and I rode with him. I was probably 18, and that was it.
All right, just that sense to serve.
Yeah, and then next thing I know, I'm working for the sheriff, and fast forward a long time.
All right, so you and I have we've chatted a little bit over the past 5 years. Is there one crazy or wild story you can think of off the top of your head that you could share? I know there's probably plenty, but is there one that you could think of that really sticks out? It's like, wow, that really happened, and I was a part of it.
There's been so many things. I wish I could remember. People say, you should have written a book. Well, I probably should have, but I didn't. But, gosh, back in the old days, when the jail was in Appalachia, it was different. You had the inmates upstairs, you had dispatch downstairs. It was like 20 people that worked in the whole organization. It wasn't really big, but there was always something crazy going on. Somebody driving crazy, or when there was no there was like 2 ambulances in the county, and when there was no ambulance available, the hearse would come pick people up from traffic.
Wow.
And the first time that happened, I think the lady just about had a heart attack because she saw the hearse drive up, and I'm like, yeah, that's how you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was. I mean, there's a lot of things, you kind of caught me off guard, but that was it was in hindsight, it's kind of funny. There's no ambulance, so we're going to send the hearse from the funeral home. But that happened quite often. It was like an old Cadillac hearse that you'd have a coffin in going to a
Yeah.
funeral. So it was not the most appealing
You're
thing.
an offender bender. Now the hearse is rolling up. Like, wait a minute. Wait, what's going on?
Well,
Is he messing up something?
she'd actually flipped her car, so
I gotcha.
she did need medical attention. But things were different then. There was the county was not quite as busy. There were not as many resources. You had one deputy after midnight that worked the entire county, and that was, you just dealt with whatever came along, and that's just the way it was. And, things were a lot different then as far as law enforcement technology. We have all the technology now. We know where all the cars are whenever. We didn't have any of that. If you need to use a telephone, you hope that there was a payphone or the convenience store was open. You could go in there and borrow the clerk's phone to call the office.
All right.
And so that's a huge. Those things are how it was and how it is now. It's really, it's really different.
No. So one thing I fell in love with this community is that overarching sense of community. I mean, obviously we have folks on the left, on the right, and everywhere in between. But when natural disasters strike, or when we come together for the kids, or do a barbecue for somebody who has a sick grandfather, the town just comes together, and I love that. And it seems like the town comes together for you too. You're on your second term now, and third term now.
Yeah, time
and
flies.
Man, but this last one you won by a landslide, and it seems like you also are able to get the support of pretty much everybody in the community. Is there something special that you do? Or you reach out to everybody? You just got open heart?
I don't really discriminate because of what political affiliation, or I really don't care.
All right.
You have to have one to run for office, and that's why I have one. But I try to treat everybody the same, whether Democrat, Republican, Independent, doesn't matter. And you're right. There was not a charity fund in place prior to me being sheriff. There is now. We do a lot. Wheelchair ramps, just whatever. I mean, we have every single day somebody's calling us to help them, and so we do that. And the reason we're able to do that is we have a very giving community, and we also have the community outside here is very giving. The people that visit here, the people that have second homes. I mean, I have friends who have. There's a guy every year when he does his taxes, he usually writes me a check for like $25,000. He's like, I got to do something. That's what I want to do. And he doesn't even live here,
but he knows it's going to go to a good place.
Right. And that's a good feeling to know that people trust you that much to say, okay, hey, here's my hard earned money. We know you're going to put it to a good use. We know there is a use for it there. Tallahassee has lots of social service agencies. Mm-hmm. You have lots of places there to do for people. We don't have a lot of that. So it's good that our charity fund is very vibrant and moving. Of course, if you want to donate, please write a check to the charity fund and send it to us. We will never turn down anything because it goes out quicker than it comes in. But this is a great community. People always step up. Like like you said, if somebody wants to do a benefit, people that don't even know the person will come and help cook. They'll donate. They'll buy 10 plates when they don't need but 2.
Yep.
They'll donate $100 for a $10 mullet dinner. I mean, it's really awesome. That's what's great about living here.
Yeah. And I experience that in the shop all the time. We get everybody in here, and for the 5, 10, 20 minutes they're here, everything else goes away. We're talking about common things like fishing or whatever, the beach or a vacation. And this shop brings people together. And I think it's because that's just how the community is naturally.
It is.
And I think that's one of my personal
But it helps. Having a place people can come, like coffee shops are great. It's great to have coffee shops because people can come and they can, have a quiet corner if they want it, or they can have a conversation with somebody who's there as well. And I think it's a great asset. I'm glad that, it's sad this isn't an oyster house anymore, but it's great that it is now a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So it's not just sitting here vacant. It's being used for a really good purpose.
And what's cool is I still get stories. I still have a shucking station right there, and I can't tell you how many folks have come in talking about their grandma work right there, or the oyster stalls in the back. And it's just neat. We wanted to try to keep that local history alive because we don't know what's going to happen with that bay. I mean, the ban did get lifted, but I'm hoping we'll see more oyster boats out there, and folks can get back to that livelihood that was generational. It's sad to see that go.
Yeah, it is sad. And because seafood and tourism does go together.
Right.
It complements each other. So it would be good to see that resurge in all those areas. There used to be East Point was filled with fish houses, oysters, mullet. Where there's nothing now, there used to be places just like this. I remember as a deputy, I have to go by and check the doors all the time. And there was from one end of East Point to the other. But hopefully, we'll see some of that come back, and we'll continue to. As long as I'm sheriff, that's my job. Make sure it's a great place for people to live. And I like it when I meet somebody and they're like, "Oh, we moved to Apalachicola or Carabel or East Point or the island because we know how safe it is here. We watch what you do and we like it." So that's a good feeling too, to know that my team and I are doing a good job, and that people, that's one of the things. People come to your community because there's good schools, there's law enforcement, and there's health care, and that's why they move here.
Right.
Those are the things that you have to have. So if you don't have those, if you miss or for missing one of those, people aren't going to come here.
Right.
So I'm going to do my part to make sure that we're the safest county in the country.
You're definitely doing your part. Yeah. So what is your favorite thing about being the sheriff of Franklin County? If you had to narrow
Facebook
down
Live.
Thing, yeah.
Well, I know that's what people say. Like, "Oh, you're always on Facebook." Well, I haven't been on Facebook this week. Maybe I need to get
That's
on
community outreach. People
it is.
Like to know what's going on.
The best part of my job is when you can touch someone's life in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And make their day better, whether it's changing somebody's tire. When somebody sends a note in, "Hey, your deputy stopped to help me because I was broken down." That's, putting people in jail is no fun. It's something we have to do.
Right.
But it's really nice when you're like, "Oh, I ran out of gas and the deputy stopped and took me to get gas," or had a flat tire, or, took me home because my car couldn't be fixed, or whatever the need may be. Doing things that a lot of places don't do. We go the extra. I like to call it our top tier service. That's kind of what it's not kind of, it's what we do.
Right.
People pay taxes for a service, and that service should be top tier. I think if people pay tax dollars, they want to know, okay, I want the best that I can get for the money I pay, and that's what we try to do.
All right. Well, last and final question for you. I know you got a busy schedule, and again, I appreciate you taking a minute to talk to us. What is your favorite thing about living on the Forgotten Coast?
Probably sunsets.
You know how many hundreds, if not thousands, of sunset pictures I have? I don't have any sunrise because I'm here working, but sunset pictures, whether it's the mill pond, the beach, the river, you name it.
I mean, that's me. I love watching the sunset. No matter if you go to the same spot every day, it's still different.
For sure.
And just seeing the people like you coming in and having a conversation with you, going to Fisherman's Choice, seeing those guys over there, going somewhere in Appalachia, Carabel. Like today, went to lunch in Carabel, saw folks over there, went to multiple businesses. Yeah, just, and everybody's so kind. I mean,
treat you like family.
Yeah, everybody's just really, really great. And I mean, I think they would do that whether I was the sheriff or whether I was just a regular guy. I think that's just the nature of the people that live here. So it's just a great place to be.
I agree completely. Well, Sheriff, I appreciate the time, man. It means a lot that you took some time to talk to us.
No, I think what you're doing is great. Appreciate your business and your charity, because I mean, every time we ask you for something, you step up, and that's big. It takes, because I know you get a lot of asks. I know a lot of people come in here and say, "Hey, I need, we're doing this or we're doing that," and you give, but you can't get back if you don't give.
And that's the thing, man, is you got to give to the community that gives to you. And since we've opened the doors, this community has supported us since day one. Yeah. And so we're more than happy to give back. We're involved in the community, and we love it. We love being here. So thanks again, Sheriff. You got any last minute, No,
man, good luck on this endeavor. I think it's great to do what you're doing, and just keep it up. Keep up what you're doing. You every time I see you, got, okay, well, it was a coffee shop. Then it was jiu-jitsu. Now it's this. I'm like, I keep expecting to see you like having a helipad out here or something.
If we drink enough coffee, the sky's the limit.
There's no telling. So, keep it up. Keep doing good things, and because everything you're doing is a value add to the community.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.